Should I make him the? Let's see both of us. Let's see both of us. What?
It should be like the,
If I make him the host,
yeah.
I'm gonna make you the host. Okay. If I lose you,
All right.
Earlier than got the rejection.
All right.
Right.
Cool. All right. Ugh. How's your day today?
It's been a busy morning. How about you guys?
Yeah, busy. We're all hitting the end of our zone now, which is good. Rogue, come say hi.
That-
We got 4 people in. I'm going to share this with everybody.
Hey,
That's
how's it
my
going?
son Rogue. This is my trainer Phil.
How's it going?
And we got Rich.
Nice to meet you.
That's Mike.
Nice to meet everyone.
Yeah. Thank you
Is
for
everybody ready to work today, or are we just watching?
no, they're gonna do it. We're just doing all like your good mobility stuff, right? In their cardio mobility, all that, whatever.
Yep. So what I got planned is I got 3 different segments. I got it spaced out. I got a board behind me where I got it spaced out between 2 different styles of mobility warm up, where it would be used during a rotation slash lateral movement day, and another one I would use for like a speed slash sprint. And then the last segment we'll get into will be how I would actively implement those things moving forward. Similar to how we did in class, but I know you only came for one class, so you don't get to see how things evolve week to week.
Perfect.
So just to give you guys a little bit of insight, because I know you asked, do I do any type of certification? Like I said, I've been doing this almost 2 decades. I have my certification. The one I did was corrective exercise specialist. So understanding how to correct a lot of people's imbalances and be able to evolve from that is what kind of got my gears turning. Well, how do I implement mobility? Not necessarily flexibility, because mobility and flexibility aren't the same thing. Right. But how can I get people's bodies prepared for what I'm going to need them to do for the day? And if you know anything about how stretching can affect that, it's not necessarily about lengthening that tissue, but allowing that tissue to flex and extend around our joints will get them prepared for the next battle, the next phase of movement. So that's kind of how I use a little bit of my creativity, a little bit of research that I've done over the years to implement those forms of mobility to be able to get people going. But I do have a board behind me. I don't know if you want to take a screenshot of it. If I move it in close,
I'll do it later. I'll screenshot it later when we once I like slow it down. So you can just get us moving and do stuff, and then we will might try to make it bigger.
All right. So once again, what I'm going to do is split this up into 2 different segments, and the third is going to be like I said, more movement based. So if you see me looking back, actually, you know what I do is I'll move this in the front, so I don't have to keep looking back. I'm going to move it to the front, and I'll let you screenshot it in the end. So if everybody has a mat available, let me just grab one for myself, just because I'm sitting on turf. I don't want to scuff myself up. So give me 1 second.
All right. I might try to plug you into a louder speaker here too, because I think I could probably do that.
Make it full screen too.
Yeah. Do I do that or does he do that? Now that I made him host.
Is this something you need me to do?
I'm going to try to make you full screen, which you might have to do. Would he be the one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There's one item. Oh, where'd he go? Oh, but we lost him. If you pin someone, it should be the thing. It should be the main screen. Oh, there you are.
All right. I'm going to go from back here.
Okay, I'm trying to see if I can. Yeah, that's good. We put you on full screen now. I was trying to get some volume, but I don't know if I can do it. Go ahead. Can you talk?
Do you need me to talk louder?
No, that's all right.
You need me to talk louder? Does that help?
Okay, I was trying to put you on our overhead sound here, but it's all right. We'll be able to hear you. It's okay. Oh, yeah. Nice. Hold on. It's good. Unplug. All right. You guys see? See enough? Okay. All right.
All righty. So as I explained before, you anytime you're creating a warm-up for somebody, the goal is to be able to make sure your warm-up correlates to how you're going to move. I know today we're going to run through some general movements, so we're not really getting prepared for a workout, but I'm going to take you through 14 different movements before we go into our final 7. All right, so I'll do my best to try to be loud enough so that you can hear me. Yep. I'm going to demonstrate it first, and I'm going to let you all get into it for 30 to 45 seconds, because some of these movements will be single-sided. I'm going to give you enough time to be able to get into it, be able to feel it, get the body loosened up, and we'll go from there. So the first 14 movements are just about mobility, trying to get that body to move. The first 7 is going to be what I would use anytime I'm going to have anybody doing any type of rotational movements or lateral movements. All right, because when we think about our lateral chain, we got to think about our hips, thinking about our groin, our obliques, our chest, our rhomboids. All of those muscles will help us to be able to rotate or move laterally. So this is in no particular order. Like I said at the end, if you want to screenshot these, we can. But the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to have everybody sit down. I always like to start off simple and then kind of wrap it up. So we're going to do what I call a 90-90 flip. All right. Starting off real simple. Hopefully you can see me. Let me tip my camera down a little bit because I'm seated down. All right, a 90-90 flip. With that 90-90, you've probably seen these before. Some of you've seen, but someone else may use a different name. But doesn't matter about the name. It just matters about the movement. I want to make sure I'm in a position where my heels are on the floor and I'm trying to take my knee to my heel. Trying to take my knee to my heel. Trying to keep my hands steady. All right, keep my chest up tall, take my knee down to the hip, and I'm going to rock back and forth, trying to keep those hands down. This is going to release that internal, external rotation. As I explained at the start, I told you this first 7 movements about implementing, opening the body up for any type of lateral or rotational movement. So I'm going to give you about another 30 seconds to rock this without. Remember, you're trying to take that knee to the heel. Knee to the heel is the goal. If you can't get your knee to your heel, if you're too tight, that means you just got to scoot that leg out. Keep the upper chest steady. I'm not rotating with it. We're not doing that just yet. Just keep it steady. We're trying to warm up those hips, because if you're going to be doing any type of lateral movement or rotational movement, it all starts with the hips. Hips are your center mass. I'm going to give you a few more seconds to rock this out. Starting off with something a little simple. Please make sure, trying to keep your upper chest steady, because if you move your upper chest, it's not mobility anymore. It's not a hip-focused movement. It just becomes movement, which isn't a bad thing. But once again, we're trying to get the lower half prepared for battle. Last 3, 2, and 1. Now, let's take this up a notch. We're going to do a 90-90 kick through. All right? Once again, someone else may call it something different. It's not about the name. All right, so you're going to sit in that 90-90 position, and you're going to take one leg, extend it out here, and sweep it back. All right, now that we got those hips warm, now we're going to need these muscles to contract. Remember, when you're thinking about mobility, one side is contracting as the other side is flexing. So here and through, swing it through. We're going to rock out just one side for 30 seconds. Once again, same thing. You're trying to keep that chest up. If you're rocking the body down, it's not about mobility anymore. That's just momentum. So want to be able to keep that chest tall. That leg never touches the ground. Ready, clock starts. Give you 30 seconds on each side. Remember, keep that chest up. The foot never touches down. It never touches down. As you can see, when I kick it to the back, it never touches down. I'm looking to try to extend that leg all the way out, because now I'm trying to fire up my anterior hip flexors all the way around to the muscles on the posterior chain, all the way around to the glutes. I'm going to give you 5 more seconds, and we're going to switch sides. Remember, keep that leg up, sweeping all the way through. It's never resting. It's not resting. In 3, 2, switch sides. Same thing on the other side. Remember, keep that leg up. We sweeping. Now, while you're doing this, you feel other things firing up. Your body should be heating up. You feel your obliques. You feel your lower back. But, of course, you feel your hip flexors. You feel your groin. Feel your glutes all turning on. Keep that posture up. Stay tall for me. Now, rather than resting that leg, let's make it more effective. Yes, it's easier if I rest that leg. Keep it up. Even if I'm going no hands, never touches. It takes a lot more strength through this mobility movement if I go no hands. No lean. We're trying to stay as upright as possible. Giving you 15 more seconds. Keep going. Keeping that leg up and elevated, sweep through, never touching down. In 3, 2, 1. Thank you. All right, now let's go on to number 3. I call these pretzel wipes. Once again, somebody else may call it something else, but I try to put a name to it. So whenever I'm teaching a group, I always think to myself, how can I keep it simple? So if we come back to it and you have the way you can picture it in your head as opposed to being real scientific, how can I keep it simple so that when somebody walks away from it, they have an idea of what they did. So if they need to do it on their own. So this is called pretzel wipes. Now, the reason why I call it a pretzel, and I'm gonna try to give you different angles of this, because I'm gonna fully overlap the leg, just like so, like I'm wrapping myself into a pretzel. My arms are out into what I call a T formation, out to my side. Your head is gonna stay down, all right? And we're gonna wipe side to side. Remember, one side is contracting while the other side is opening up for flexibility. So I'm using my top leg to pull one side down. I'm getting my obliques fired up because once again, this first segment is about turning my muscles on for rotation. But make sure you give me a full overlap. It's not a half overlap. Overlap that leg all the way. There you go. Keep your head down. All right, because we don't want to engage our cervical spine. We want to keep it steady. This is about bulletproofing that lower half first. Because if you're going to do any type of jumping around or agility, it's going to be from the ground up. 15 seconds, and you're going to switch sides. Make sure you all got enough space in there so you can rock out. In 3, 2, switch sides. Switch your overlap to the other side. A good rule of thumb I always like to emphasize is breathing through the depth of the contraction. So where you feel most of that tension, exhale so it allows you to get deeper into it. Do not hold your breath, and you do not want to hold it. Remember, this isn't yoga. We don't want to do any extended stretching. Extended stretching will relax the body. You don't want to relax the body before activity. Your chance of injury goes up. Side to side, please make sure you breathe, and we are not holding it. 10 seconds. This will release that spine, release that hip, release any tension you may have in your psoas, which is across the front of those hips. I know that's getting a little scientific, but those are your muscles that we typically refer to as your hip flexors. Relax. All right, now we're going to get a little bit more tricky with this next one. So you may have to move closer because it's all about the emphasis of where you pull. I call this pretzel pulls. So we're in a similar pretzel position, but you're going to be pulling. All right, I'm trying to give you multiple views. I'm here. I'm going to grab one ankle. I'm going to grab one knee. All right. I'm going to go to the ankle side that I'm pulling. So I roll over and I pull and look back. And remember, I want to take where I feel the depth of that contraction. I want to take a deep breath, exhale, and come back. We're not holding it. Grab the ankle. Remember, the ankle that you grab, you're rolling to that side. And you're going to grab the opposite knee, and I'm pulling them apart. And I look back to that ankle that I'm grabbing. I'm going to look back to it. With this one, you're going to alternate. I told you it's tricky. So grab the leg, you put overlap, and yes, now roll to that side. The ankle that you grab, you want to roll to that side. You got it, brother. I see you. Now roll to your left, grab that top knee, and you want to pull them apart. Grab that top knee, and you want to pull, yes, and pull them apart. You got to always grab that ankle first. So grab the ankle first, and I want to roll to that leg, to that side, and then I pull the knee and the ankle apart and exhale. And I come back. This is going to open up your anterior hip flexors. It's going to open up your chest, open up your spine. I'm going to give you a little bit of time to get this. I'm trying to look around the room to see if we got it. It's a little tricky. That's why it's called a pretzel. This is all about opening the body up. We're not trying to relax. 2 to 3 seconds, hold max, and roll over. I'm going to give you plenty of time to get through this one because it's tricky. Grab the ankle first, roll over to that side, grab the knee and pull them apart and try to look back to that ankle that you're pulling. Roll over and look back. Yes, look back to that ankle. Good. Remember, you only hold it for 2 to 3 seconds max. We're not trying to relax. Trying to lay your upper back firm down to the floor. Lay your upper back down. We're not sitting up. Last 15 seconds. I don't want to spend too much time on it. We got a lot to cover. And relax. Here we go. We're moving on. Trust me, we got a lot to go through. You should start to feel your body heating up. We're up to number 5. All right, here we go. We got groin, hip, step through. For this one, I'm going to put my hands down. I'm going to push forward. My feet and knee, everything is facing straight ahead. I'm not turning my body. Everything is facing straight ahead. I put my hand down to start. I got my hands just inside my foot. It's out on a 45-degree angle. And I push forward. And then I step across and I push out. I push forward, hold it for a 2 count, and step across. All right, you're going to stay on the same side. Make sure when you step across, I'm pushing into that hip. Exhale on the deep portion of that contraction. No longer than a 3 count in your head. It ain't got to be perfect, but no extended holding and stretching prior to exercise. We just want to open those tissues up. I'm going to give you 20 more seconds, and then we're going to switch sides. Remember, breathe. Exhale, step across, push into that hip, big step up, push out. You got 10 more seconds. And 3, 2, switch sides for me. You don't have to rush it. Make sure when you take that step up, that foot is facing straight ahead, and I'm just pushing out on a 45-degree angle. Because if you plan on doing any type of agility work where you're going to be changing directions, you want to make sure that that groin and hips are open up for all different angles of movement. Breathe. I don't hear anybody breathing. I hope y'all breathing over there. I should hear a lot of breathing in the room. How many people I got over there? What, 4 or 5, you said? I should hear some breathing. Some. All right.
We're all up here. We're all stiff.
Well, I will promise you after these 21 movements, you will be feeling nice and loose and relaxed. All right. We're going to keep it going. Number 6 on the list is scorpions. All right. Some of these movements, you may see some of these. I've taken these from yoga, Pilates, and a lot of different research from a lot of different people to how can I implement them in the gym. There's no such thing as a bad resource. I always just try to pull from a little bit from everywhere and understand how can I implement this to help people move better. All right. So scorpions, you're going to lay flat on your stomach. This is going to open up your chest, your shoulders, your mid, low back, and your hips. All right, my arms are out to the side. I'm looking down at the floor. I'm only looking up now so I can talk to you. Be careful of your neighbors. You may not want to kick them in the head. And ladies, it's okay if you lift up a little bit to get the pressure off the tatas. A lot of my ladies feel like this can cause them too much pressure on the chest. So I always say, just lift up a little bit. For the fellas, you are good to go. All you're going to do is going to bring one arm in. So bring your right arm in. Bend your right leg. Now you're trying to take your right leg over to that left arm. And I'm pushing off that right arm. Take a deep breath, exhale, and I alternate sides. I then straighten out my right, bend the left, and I'm pushing off. And I'm turn and look. You're alternating. As you kick over, turn and look up to the sky. Push. And remember, 2 to 3 seconds max. Remember, this is not yoga. You're trying to prep the body for movement. I can't emphasize that enough. I mean, this you can do any of these stretches for an extended amount of time if you're trying to recover from anything. But if you're doing this as a prep to move, 2 to 3 seconds max. Last 15 seconds, we're going to be moving on. And 3, 2, 1, and relax. Now that we've got some things open up, we're going to go to the last piece in this segment. Trust me, we can keep going on with a lot of different things to open up rotation, but I just picked out some of the key ones that I love doing that I can do anytime. I'm going to do any type of agility work or plyometrics or anything of that nature. Last one, number 7, is lateral lunge and twist. So you're going to lateral lunge. I'm going to give you a side view. In this side view, I'm sitting. I'm not here. I'm going to sit back on that heel, put my opposite hand down, turn and open, lateral lunge, opposite hand. I put it down. I'm using that hand that I'm putting down to the floor to help assist me in opening up my rotation. Hand down, turn and open. If you can't get that hand down, maybe a yoga block would do or something like that. I know we're all built different, so having a yoga block handy for someone would be a good way to be able to mitigate the lack of mobility or flexibility for that matter. So remember, take a big step. You should have one bent leg, one straight leg. Hand down, I'm pushing off that hand to open up. Turn and look up to that hand because I want to get the entire spine to go together. This is a great one I like to use for my golfers, my hockey players, my baseball players, anyone who do any form of rotation. I'm loading one side as I'm opening the other. That's what makes it more about mobility and not just about stretching. I'm going to give you 20 more seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. If you need to get a drink, get a drink. If not, I'm going to need everybody shoes off for this next one. Shoes off. We're going to go into a completely different segment. This segment is what I would use for any of my athletes or any of my day-to-day people who are going to be doing any type of speed or even some strength work. All right, I'm trying to open up my ankles, my shins, my knees, my groin, a little bit more groin work. All right, so we're going to start off from the ground up. If you're going to ever be doing any kind of run, you got to think about what's affecting the ground, and then I got to kind of work my way up. So the first one, I call this my shin, foot, and calf stretch. So the reason why I want to take the shoes off, because we all have different shoes, and sometimes the shoes can get in the way of getting you deeper into some of these mobility movements. So once again, I'm going to try to get as close as I can here. All right. Tip my camera down so you can see my feet. All right. So this is 3 movements. 3 movements. Number 1, I'm going to go here, collapse my ankle. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to rock. Number 2, hands down. I'm here, pushing into the balls of my feet. And number 3, if you can get there, I lift and drop my heels. All right, I'm going to back up so you can see it further away. So it's a 3-piece movement. 3-piece movement. Collapse the ankles. Sit back. Up onto the balls of your feet. Push the balls of the feet down. And then I lift up and drop the heels. You're going to keep repeating that. I'm going to give you 45 seconds. In 3, 2, go. Take your time with it. If you're like me and you may have torn your Achilles, some of these can get tough because when they put me in a boot to heal, my flexion went away. My dorsiflexion isn't nearly as good as it once was, or even plantar flexion for that matter. So I do a lot of work with this one. If I'm going to do any type of running or single leg bounding or plyometrics, I love to make sure I open up my feet and ankles. Your feet are the first thing that touch the floor, so opening them up is crucial. Rock back, balls of the feet. In 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to call these ankle ABCs. Hopefully everybody knows their ABCs. If not, you may struggle with this one, but I got faith in all of you. What you're going to do is you're going to sit down. I call this calf to instep. I'm going to put my calf to my instep. Let me see if I turn this way. Just like so. This is about, once again, trying to make sure the muscles around my ankles and my knees are fired up. And all I'm going to have you do is your ABCs. You're trying to draw them in big letters. Once again, this is flexion and extension. That's why I like to draw big letters, because as I'm stretching out one side, I'm opening the other. Now, you do not have to draw perfect letters. We're trying to draw big letters. And I'm going to start my clock, and I'm going to let you get as far as you can for 25 seconds. Big, nice big letters. You want to make sure you're keeping that foot off the ground. There's no deep breathing that's needed for this. Just let it rock out. One cool tool that I like to use at night when I'm just trying to relieve my feet. I don't know if y'all ever heard of yoga toes or toe spacers. I use those a lot to help open my feet back up, to help relieve my Achilles tendon, to help out with any type of calf tension or any plantar fasciitis issues or anything like that. Switch sides. If you didn't make it to Z, it's okay. Switch sides. Nice big letters. Don't be shy with it. We got a lot to cover. I'm going to give you 15 more seconds. It ain't got to be perfect. The goal, I will typically have someone do this from A to Z. As I explained, we got a lot we're trying to cover. So I'll take a screenshot of all of these so that way you have it for your own personal benefit. And relax. Now, let's travel up the body a little bit, back into our groin. Remember, if we're going to be doing a speed or a strength day, your groin is everything. To be able to produce more power, your groin and hips are a big part of that. So I'm going to do groin rocks. All right. And what I mean by rock, I'm calling it rocking. I'm going to give you a side view because it's some key points that I always like to emphasize with this. Making sure my hips are out in front of my knees. My foot is out to the side. It doesn't matter which side you start off with, but you don't want to start like this here in this position because I got nowhere to rock to. So I want to start off with my hips out in front of the knees. I'm on my instep here. And I rock straight back, as if I always try to say my cue for this one is try to close the car door with your butt. Just push straight back. My hands are out in front of the body, so I got somewhere to rock to. I like to keep my head down as opposed to head up. Remember, spinal alignment is everything. I'm going to give you a few more seconds on this side. Push straight back. You're not sitting down. You're just pushing straight back. If you're doing this right, you may feel this from your crotch or your pelvis all the way down to the knee, depending on how tight you are. Here we go. Switch sides. Yep. Hips are out in front of the knee. Push straight back. Nice level spine. Hands are out in front of the body. With this one, you can get back to your breathing where we feel that deep contraction or that deep stretch. I exhale to release. I'm going to give you 15 more seconds. In 3, 2, 1. So next, now let's go to the opposite side of the groin. Let's go into the hips. This is hip circle throughs or hip circle step through. I'm going to circle, then I'm going to step through. We did a portion of this in our rotation phase, but now I'm trying to open up the hips and open up the groin. So I'm going to do a hip circle, and I'm going to step through and across. Hip circle, come back, step through. It ain't got to be perfect. Hip circle, step through. Stay on that same side. Give me a big circle, circle back, and step across. Stay on the same side. Stay on the same side. Circle, circle back. Circle, circle back. Ten seconds. We're going to switch sides. In 3, 2, 1. Switch sides for me. Hip circle, step across. Ooh. Breathe. Ooh. Typical time frame, I normally would do for most of these about 45 seconds to a minute, especially for these single-sided movements. In 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to walk the dog. Going to go back down to our calves. All right, walking the dog. Open up the calves. Open the Achilles up. Simple one. I'm sure you may have seen this one before, but there's something I want to emphasize in this one. I am not just trying to stretch. I'm pushing up to fire those calves back up. So don't think of it as just a stretch. I go down the stretch and I push up to squeeze to fire those calves back up. This will help with your ankle mobility. The shins, if you're going to be doing any type of squatting, your shins and ankles are everything. When you have immobile ankles, it makes it very difficult to get down into a deep squat. That's one thing people forget about squatting. Your ankles are a major part of that. And if the ankles are tight, squatting down, it's going to be very difficult. 3, 2, and relax. Here we go. Up on your feet. Now we're just trying to fire up a little bit more around those ankles. I call this one just a duck walk. So you're going to lift your toes up as high as you can. You're just going to walk down to the end of your mat, turn around, and walk back. If I was in the gym, I would have someone walk all the way down and all the way back. You're trying to keep those toes as high as you can. Walk down to the end of the mat. When you think about any type of knee issues or calves for that matter, but specifically knees, the shin muscles are crucial for any type of impact you're going to feel on the knees. The muscles in the shin are the first source of absorption in that impact, because as my foot strikes the ground, I'm in a flex position, and all those muscles are responsible for absorbing impact. You got to think about your muscles like shock absorbers. If the shock absorbers aren't fully prepared for battle, your joints will feel it. And relax. All right. Last one. We're going to go into perfect stretch to put it all together. All right. You're going to take a big step back, push down, turn it open. So big step back. I'm going to show you 2 views. Push down, turn it open, stand it up. I'll give you this view. This step down, push down, turn it open, stand it up. All right. Big step back, push down, turn it open, stand it up. Yep, good. Same side. Big step back, put that opposite hand down. I push down, turn it open, stand it up. So now I'm opening the groin, the hips back up, opening up my spine. Once again, if I'm going to do any type of squatting, being able to be able to get down is a lot to do with what those hips are doing. Anybody who works with me, they always know my phrase is the hips are the key to the soul. When the hips are tight, everything follows. I'm going to give you 20 more seconds. And in 3, 2, 1. All right, now at this point, we're going to put the shoes back on. The next 7 that we're going to go into is going to be a transition from strictly mobility / flexibility, but actually implementing and working. So we're only going to choose 7 movements. If you need to get a drink of water, I highly recommend you get that drink of water now, because now we're going to be jumping around and start implementing some of our mobility now with active movements. This is the segment that I typically call in my class 7 minutes in heaven. It is 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of break. If you ever grew up in middle school, 7 minutes in heaven was a fun game, but it's not a game anymore. All right, so you won't necessarily need your mat for this one. But the first one we're all going to do, we're all going to sit down. But like I said, you will not necessarily need your mat for any of these. In the space we're in, I love that we have a little bit of turf, because anytime I have anybody jumping around, understanding that a little bit of cushion can go a long way. Sorry if you can't see me. A little bit of cushion goes a long way whenever anybody's jumping around. So if you all have good mats that do not slip, doing some of these on the mat may be a great idea, just to give you a little bit of force absorption. All right, the first one we're actually going to do in this 7 minutes of heaven is going to be easy, and then we're going to ramp things up. We're going to be seated down. We're going to do hip flip reach now. We did just the hip flips to start the day, but now we're going to get active with it. All right, so it's going to be flip, flip, reach, flip, flip, reach. So in that same position we started in, now we're trying to get the body sweating. So I'm going to flip, flip, reach over the shin, flip, flip, come back to the other side and reach. We're not holding it. Flip, flip, back to the other side. Clock starts in 3, 2, 1, go. Remember, we started the day off with a 90-90 flips. Keep that chest nice and tall. Chest tall, side to side. Flip side to side and reach. It's 30 seconds. This isn't one of those things where you're pacing yourself. Now we're trying to get that heart rate going. All right, trying to get that body unloaded. Get the hips unloaded in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On your feet. Number 2 of 7 on your feet. You're going to do inchworm into a squat jump. Inchworm. Walk it down. Open up the back hamstrings. Jump up. And you turn around and you do the same thing, go back. Inchworm. Big jump up. And turn around and repeat. All right? So feet are outside of shoulder width. I'm going to walk it out all the way out so I'm in a push-up position. Squat here deep. Stand it up. Clock starts. Ready. Go. Open up the back. Open the hamstrings up. You're getting your core turned on. You're getting your upper body nice and warm. This isn't a break. You shouldn't be spending 2 or 3 seconds looking at me. You go back down and you go right away. Now, if you have a long room, you do not have to turn around, of course. You can just walk this bad boy down the room so there's no break. You don't need a break when you warm it up. In 3, 2, 1. All right, now we're going broad jumps to duck walk. All right, big jump out. We're duck walking back. So all this time we spent opening up them hips. Let's see if you got it in you. You still got 15 seconds to breathe. Take advantage of it. I want a big broad jump as if we're preparing for the NFL combine. All right, so big jump out, sit it deep, and it's duck walk back in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Big jump out, sit deep. We did all this work opening up them hips. Now we use it. Go right away. Bang. Okay. I see my man got a big jump, but I can tell his hips are tight. Your son, he got a big jump, but I can tell his hips are tight. Sit that thing down. The duck walk is down here. Duck walk shouldn't be up here. You should be sitting down into that. We did all that work to open up them hips. Come on. Yes, the clock is ticking. 3, 2, 1. Good. You got 30 seconds to breathe. We got internal rotation and squat jump. Looks like this. Up. Remember, I told you we're rotating. Notice I'm not turning. I'm keeping my spine here straight ahead because I'm trying to load those hips and I jump. Feet are outside of shoulder width. I pivot in, I tap that knee, and I jump. Give me the best you can. In 3, 2, go. Trying to turn, tap that knee. Keep your chest straight ahead. My chest is straight ahead. I'm not turning my chest. Boom. I'm not turning my chest. I'm just turning that knee. I come back and I jump. The more you do this, the more open those hips will be. 10 more seconds. Come on. Let's get in, get out, jump, bang. Get in, get out, jump, bang. Come on, keep going. This ain't a spectator sport. If you're looking at me in between sets, keep going. 3, 2, and relax. Here we go. Make sure you got some space for this one. This is lateral lunge to high knee. That lateral chain. We're going to open it up now. You're going to lateral lunge. Lateral lunge. Everything we've done to open up that groin and hips should come to fruition now. So I lateral lunge deep, chest up, knee comes up, bang, bang. I go into my nets. Bang, ready in 3, 2, go. Lateral lunge, up, up, going to your next. Now, yes, we're ramping things up. This is number 5 of 7. So you're getting to the end, but that heart should be racing. You should be sweating a little bit. If you are not sweating, that means you are pacing yourself. Do not pace yourself in a warm-up. Lateral lunge, up, chop, chop. In 3, 2, 1, high knee, ham stretch. So similar to our chop, chop for lateral, but now we're going to high knee first. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, you got a chance to breathe. You got 12 seconds. Do not rush it. Take this break. But once we start, please do not pace yourself. Please do not pace yourself. And 5, 4, most of all, control before speed. Let me just emphasize that. Don't go fast and compensate your form. Ready, and go. Do not compensate your form by speed. 1, 2, down. 1, 2, down. Now, all that work we did opening them hips, bang, pump those arms, down reach. It's not a big step back. You're just stepping straight down. So 1, 2, straight down. 5 seconds. Stay with me. Pump, pump, down reach. Pump, pump, down reach. Time. We got 1 left for the day. High knee inside pull. So instead of reaching down, you're going to pull up to open up the outside portion of those hips. So it's going to be 1, 2, drop, pull. 1, 2, 3, drop, pull. 1, 2, 3, drop, pull. Give me the best high knees that you can, all right? I'm not asking you to be me. I'm asking you to be the best version of yourself. So 1, 2, 3, drop, pull. So balance, flexibility, strength, cardio in 3, 2, 1. Last movement of the day. Let's go. Everything we've done up to this point is being involved in this last 7 minutes. Come on. It's a high knee, not a low knee. Uh-oh, somebody's got to work on that balance. There you go. 1, 2, 3, pull it up. The beauty in all of these single-sided movements is the essence of athletics. Athletics is not equal-sided. So I'm always looking to work a lot of unilateral movements with my athletes because it don't matter what sport you're playing, you will not be using both sides of the body equally. In 3, 2, and ladies and gentlemen, we went from slow, we ramped it up. Of course, we could have spent an extra hour doing different types of active warm-ups. All right, but I want to give you a chance if you have any questions, concerns, if you want me to move the camera close enough or I can send you a picture of it, that'd probably be the best case scenario.
Yeah.
If I sent you a picture.
Yeah, you can send a picture. That'll work.
But does anybody have any questions, concerns, comments, jokes, or epiphanies?
No, that was really good.
No.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I wish I saw it all.
I
So,
know.
I know you. So let me just get a little bit closer. So once again, as a little bit of a cool down, a lot of what I do is just about using a little bit of creativity. It does not have to be perfect. When a person comes and see you, they're not trying to go to the NFL. They typically just want to feel good. So how can I take some creative movements, whether it be from yoga or from Pilates or all the different sports I played in the past, and how can I bring them into the gym to get people to be moving better. Yes, there's a lot of certifications out there for mobility and pain-free movement and so on and so forth. But over the almost 20 years of me doing this, what I've learned is the more mobility I've implemented, the better people have felt. And I've had people stick with me a lot longer. I've had a lot more retention that way, because most people come to the gym. Yes, they want to look good, but there's no point in looking good if you feel awful. So I typically, with everyone I work with, I typically would actually do my own personal clients. I do a little bit of foam rolling, a little bit of soft tissue work first. Then we go into a warm up, whether it be a bike, a treadmill, or something like that. Then we go into our active mobility stuff, and then we start working out. So it's typically about a 12 to 15-minute transition. It normally would never be this long. I tried to cover as much as I could with different angles, so on and so forth. But mobility doesn't end. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's why my class has always been chaos, because at the end of the day, we're all built different. So we're all going to have different limitations. But once again, I'll take a screenshot of these, and it seems as though you were recording this so you can be able to place a name to the movement.
Yep.
But anybody have any questions or concerns?
No, that was just fun to like learn more things and mix it up like that. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yes.
Stuff we don't do.
Perfect.
And it's our
That's
people,
what it's all about.
yeah, they won't do like the yoga stuff and the foam rolling, but that athletic stuff that you did that's what I loved when we came. Like,
I'm the same way. I'm not really a yoga guy, but I've taken tons of yoga classes and think, well, how can I make this more active instead of just a relaxation? I play my own music and I make it a little bit more movement based.
yeah,
And people love it. With our class, I know you ladies were here with a class 2 weeks ago. We're actually going to implement a change in format for the class where it's actually more mobility, because everybody in this facility we're in, there's tons of group classes where it's all about strength, but nobody is doing any extended time spent on getting my body to move better.
yeah,
My thought process is always this: if I'm trying to build a house and I keep tearing it down, I'm never going to make a home. So spending some time being able to rebuild that body will help you be able to get more out of your body and out of your lifts, so on and so forth.
yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
Thanks, Mike.
Awesome.
Thank you
you.
so
no
much.
worries.
Moving.
I'll send you a screenshot. I'll text you a screenshot of the board. You
All right.
have my number if there's anything you guys want to do
Yeah.
moving forward. But mobility is life. The better you move, the better you feel.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good
No
meeting.
worry. You guys have a good the rest of your day. It was nice
All
to meet
right,
everyone.
you too. Have a good day.
Bye.